Hey everybody, Movie Reviewer next door, and I'm back with another review. Decided to keep going through reviews, going a bit crazy after the last one. And if you still hear noise in the background, I'm trying to keep that down as much as possible. I did realize in the last video the fan got a bit out of control. I've learned now how to work with my old laptop and keep that silent during this. But yeah, anyways. Couldn't think of what to watch and ended up just going in blind on something, and I saw Muzzle. I know that's really hard to see, but there you go. This is a crime thriller drama film directed by John Stolberg Jr. Excuse me, from the year 2023, and it stars Aaron Eckhart, Stephen Lang, Penelope Mitchell, where is he? Well, Paul Johansson, but he's not listed here for some reason, and Nick Searcy. In this film, LAPD K-9 officer Jake Rosser has just witnessed the shocking murder of his dedicated partner by a mysterious assailant. As he investigates the shooter's identity, he discovers a vast conspiracy that has a chokehold on the city in this thrilling journey through the tangled streets of Los Angeles and the corrupt bureaucracy of the LAPD. So, what did I think of Muzzle? Okay, so when you first look at this poster, I can admit, the poster isn't much. It's Aaron Eckhart with a dog, and it's called Muzzle. Not a super imaginative title. It's understandable, but you would think that this was just some other random action movie that Lionsgate or something would just shit out. Even though I've enjoyed a lot of those, Aaron Eckhart has really surprised me. Because it seems he's really bringing his A-game to all of these movies. There was another film he was in called Line of Duty. And while I will say I would prefer that over this because that is more of a straight-up action movie, and it's full, like the entire time I'm hooked, I am hooked to this movie, but for different reasons. Crime dramas aren't usually what I'm into, because a lot of them can feel like they're stretching out a tiny amount of story into feature length when it really should work better as an episode of some random cop show like Blue Bloods or NCIS or CSI. But here, while it can feel a tiny bit like that, this is a really damn good movie. There are going to be people who say that it's just like every other one. Fine, whatever. These are my opinions. My opinion does not invalidate yours, and your opinion does not invalidate mine. I legitimately enjoyed this more than John Wick Chapter 4. I know it's a different thing, and I'm not trying to devalue action movies. I'd still watch John Wick Chapter 3, or the first one, more than this. But as this genre that I'm not really usually I don't usually go towards cop movies because a lot of them nowadays feel like the same shit over and over. But seeing End of Watch really showed me that there can be really damn good cop movies that don't do normal shit and that feel new and fresh and inventive. But let me get to the cast. Aaron Eckhart plays Jake Rosser, K-9 cop. Buddy Ace is killed, and then he ends up working with this dog that has troubles. Aaron Eckhart is excellent in this. He plays this type of character perfectly well. I believe him. He's likable. I'm glad that he chooses to play cops and people like this because I think he really works as an everyman. You can really feel his struggle with trying to get over the death of a dog that was really his family. And it makes you realize how connected these cops are to the K-9 unit, where you're in love with this dog and then it's just taken away from you in half a second like that. And it really shows what they had to go through in order to get over that. and Aaron Eckhart plays it beautifully. Stephen Lang plays Leland. He's a cop working at the canine center where people go and they're like, oh, that's the dog I want. He doesn't get much to do. But I still like Stephen Lang as an actor. Don't Breathe. He was good in a movie called Braven with Jason Momoa. He's great in a lot of movies. He's a great actor. He's also in Monkey's Paw, which maybe I'll give that a look sometime. Penelope Mitchell plays Mia. She's kind of a neighbor character. She doesn't get to do a lot, even though she's second billed. She's kind of there for it to be like, oh, Aaron Eckhart's like learning to love someone again. And even with the age difference between the actors, Aaron Eckhart being 55 and Penelope Mitchell being only 32, I still bought it. I bought the relationship, even though it's not front and center. What is front and center is the dog and Aaron Eckhart. But it works. I buy the chemistry. Nick Searcy plays Captain Freeman, captain of the cops, the good police captain. Excuse me. Nick Searcy is not an actor I've seen in a lot. Sorry, got a tiny bit of a cold, but I hope my voice isn't fucked. But from what I can tell, he plays a lot of Western roles and cop roles, and I can understand it. He's not in the film a lot. He gets to play the loud-mouthed, you did the wrong thing, cop, or chief. Fine. It works. And Paul Johansson, I wanted to mention Paul Johansson, because I recognized him from a Cynthia Rothrock movie. Let me see which one it was. Because I tend to recognize these people when I've never seen them before and they strike me as odd. Yeah, he was in Martial Law 2 Undercover. He was one of the villains. Yeah, he didn't get to do much here, but it was still cool to see someone like him. And it's also cool seeing Penelope Mitchell and Nick Searcy, who had previously worked in other films from Bonfire Legend. And this is technically a Bonfire Legend film. It's in association with them, so they're not really listed as producers. But these actors were in the Daily Wire films, Terror on the Prairie with Gina Carano, and Penelope Mitchell starred in The Hyperions, which was a superhero comedy. I still haven't gotten to those. I will get to those at some point. Maybe I'll marathon them on the channel. I don't need to watch Run, Hide, Fight again right now, but still. This film, Muzzle. Again, you see the poster, Aaron Eckhart with the dog, the tagline, Vengeance Unleashed. And you think it'll be an action thriller, like quite a bit of action. There is a film that came out semi-recently that looks like an Aaron Eckhart, just like straight up action thriller, called The Bricklayer, and I'm definitely going to take a look at that because it's directed by Rennie Harlan and it stars him. But this film is, again, it's more of a dark, gritty crime drama. There is action, and I will say a big thing I can say about the action scenes is they do not hold back. There's like 3 action scenes, I guess I could say. There's one at the beginning to establish Ace as a character. Where there's a bit of a shootout and a chase. It's fine. About halfway through the film, there's a bit where his new dog, Socks, which it's a fucking adorable dog. Just look it up. It's the German Shepherd in the movie. Where Socks has to fight another dog, and Aaron Eckhart sticks a knife in the guy's eye. It's really cool. Really, it never goes overboard to me. There are some moments that are insane, and there's a bit at the end where there's a bit of a shootout, a bit of fighting, which is fun, and a dog gets blown up. Dog lovers may want to stay away from this movie, but they also might want to watch it because the chemistry between Aaron Eckhart and this dog, the friendly chemistry, is what makes this film work. this is a film that I would say if it was a different actor and I didn't believe him and this dog as partners, the entire movie wouldn't work. There would still be some fun action at times, but it wouldn't work in the fact of I wouldn't care that these characters are in danger. Aaron Eckhart's character is played very well, so well to the point where this feels realistic, this film. Now, I know, you see conspiracy in the title, and you think, oh, unrealistic. It does deal with the real fentanyl crisis. And, yeah, some people might think, oh, the action scenes aren't realistic. For the most part, they are. It can feel a bit one-man army, I guess, but it's not like Aaron Eckhart's killing like 40, 50 guys like in the end of fucking Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which again, I love Commando. Do not get me wrong. But not every action movie needs to be one-man army thing. And this film is not that. If you go into this film expecting a super big action spectacular, you're not going to get that. There's some fun action at the end. That's about it. Or fun action beginning, middle, and end. But for the most part, this is a kind of slow burn crime drama where it's mostly the main character getting over the death of his dog and learning to trust this new dog that he kind of bonds with immediately. Excuse me. And he's trying to uncover this fentanyl ring and what happened to this new dog previously and why she's so fucked up. And yes, some of it can feel a bit slow at times. I will admit I did check how long the film had left in it a couple times, but I do that normally sometimes. But still, I can admit that some people might be turned off by the pacing. Bonfire Legend, the company that made, or that co-produced or associate produced, I don't fucking know, had something to do with it. They've done a ton of these type of films. This type of film. They produced Brawl in Cell Block 99, fantastic movie with Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Carpenter, Udo Kier, Don Johnson. They did Dragged Across Concrete, which, one of my favorite films of all time, top 20. Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn are fantastic in it. They also did Bone Tomahawk, which is also a bit of a slow burn. All of S. Craig Zahler's films are slow burns. But they also did all the Daily Wire films so far, the theatrical-like films, not their documentaries. And they did VFW, Satanic Panic. Other than those, they mostly do slow burn crime dramas. And for the most part, from what I've seen from them, they knock them out of the fucking park. Yes, you could say that a film that's slow burn doesn't have much to say, so it's kind of drip feeding information to you. You can say that about a lot of crime movies. Shaft, for just an example, felt like nothing happened for most of it for me. And that's part of why I was so frustrated with it. But with this film, yes, you can kind of feel that, but for the most part, Aaron Eckhart's acting during these scenes and the way that it's shot kind of in a realistic way where it doesn't feel like it's trying to be like overly... It's not trying to be overly cinematic. It's kind of cold, but it works for how the character is feeling and how he feels kind of off from the world. He doesn't feel connected to a lot of people. And you can tell that from how the film keeps going on. And again, would I watch this again? Maybe. I could see myself watching this with my mom. There's a lot of moments in the film that feel earned emotionally and in a narrative way. It never feels convoluted to me. The plot never got to the point where I was like, wait, what? That's what they're doing? I never feel like this film is getting too much into action fantasy land. Now, I love action films that have a shit ton of action. Hard Boiled is not a realistic movie, and that's my favorite action movie ever. I'm not saying every movie shouldn't or should. I'm saying for what this is going for, which is a gritty, realistic take on LA cops, K9 unit, this really hits it. Some people could say that you're allowed to say that the film is generic, but I think that's kind of a lazy argument to just say everything's generic, because nowadays nothing's going to be original, nothing's going to be not generic. Using that term is, in my opinion, to me, a way to get out of having to write an actual review. I'm not saying what I do as actual reviews, I'm just saying how I feel about the movie, but at least I'm not just using the term, oh, this is generic. I try to give films a chance. And I'm glad I gave this one a chance. Also, by the way, Chad Stahelski, director of the John Wick films. This film, I don't know the budget of this film, most likely under $10 million. And your film, John Wick Chapter 4, which had a $100 million budget, this film had real dogs for the entire movie. Every dog that shows up in the movie does their own stunts. They're trained stunt dogs. Why couldn't you get them for $100 million movie? Why couldn't you do practical gore effects or blood effects? I don't know why. I'm very confused. I'd love to know. Hit me up, Chad. But still, this film does use actual dogs, and it makes... Where in John Wick Chapter 4 I felt nothing whenever the dog got injured because it was very clearly CGI at every time it had to do anything, it lessens the impact. In this film, when dogs get hurt, I feel something because it's clear that it's an actual dog. And that really adds to the realism element of this film. If it was a CGI dog, this film would be way worse. I'm saying that because it's true for me. Because if I can't tell, if it's such good CGI that I can't tell it's a fake dog, then whatever. But a film of this budget wouldn't be able to do super realistic dog CGI, and even the films that have done it, I've been able to tell. The fact that this film uses actual animals is a big point in its favor. And the fact that Aaron Eckhart and the dog work so well really does make it work and really sell it. And I will say, not going to spoil the ending here, it is very satisfying. And I actually, applaud it. But, yeah. Not much else to say. I can... Sure, I remember who did the music. Just a second. Paul Gallister did the original musical score. Nice score. I don't remember a lot of it, but I remembered it was subtle enough that it didn't feel like it was taking my attention away from things, and it got me in the mood. But yeah. If you see this on any streaming services, definitely give it a watch. It's available to rent on Amazon. But yeah, that was my review of Muzzle. If you've seen this film, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If you have any requests, put those down in the comments as well. And movie reviewer next door.